Good news, everybody. GTR update. We are going to be keeping the GTR, guys. Don't worry, it is not going anywhere. And I've got a good unboxing video for you guys today for some Tomei turbo outlets for the RB26, as well as my build plans for into the future. So let's get into today's video. It's finally time for a GTR update on my channel. I've got some parts that I ordered from Japan a few months back that have been sitting out in the garage, and I've just been busy with WRX content stuff and working overtime to where I haven't had a point to really do any unboxing. So I've got all kinds of stuff I'm gonna unbox. I've got this box from Japan, that box from the UK, this box from Japan, that stuff from Australia. So I'm gonna do a few unboxing videos and then talk about my GTR build plans over like the next 3-4 videos. So let's get into it. So we have the OEM downpipes or turbo elbows, dump pipes, whatever you call them, turbo outlets. We're going to compare these versus the brand new Tomei cast one-piece design. It's a turbine outlet pipe for the RB26 outlet. So it's good for the R32, R33, R34. So we're going to go ahead and start by separating the cast turbo elbow stock one from the stock turbo. And now let's go ahead and unbox the turbo outlets. So wow, these things look pretty awesome. If you guys are looking for a solid turbo elbow or turbo outlet, the nice thing with these is like the OEM ones, they're a one-piece solid cast. So these things won't crack or have any issues with long-term longevity. And they're very nice, very similar to like the HKS ones that I had on there before. But yeah, the big difference too is we'll see how these fit, but they look like they're a little smaller in this area, which is good because the HKS ones actually contacted the bell housing of the the back of the engine where it pairs to like the transmission on the rear one. Let's see, this is the, which one's which? So this is the rear one. So on the inside of the HKS, it was touching right here against the bell housing mount to the transmission, and then this is the front one here. But this is everything that comes in the box, guys. You get really nice exhaust studs here, you get some bolts, some adapters, some plugs, you get the smooth bolt paste to assemble everything with the instructions manual, and some gaskets. So let's go ahead, let's compare the stock one. Let's get a good look at here and see where the Tomeis are going to be better and less restrictive. And then when we're done, we'll go ahead and assemble it to the HKS 2530 turbos with the N1 exhaust manifold and see what it all looks like together. So I bought myself some Dustin Williams merch because Dustin has a R35 GTR giveaway he's doing on the channel. All you have to do is buy some merch or any items from his website to be entered in. And I would love to add another GTR to my collection. So this is where you're gonna have the biggest difference. When you look inside the Tomei, they're just like the HKS ones. They are wide open on the inside. So they're really big, they're gonna flow. Where the factory one, you've got this big block plate here. So you can see where the Tomei one goes straight through. It's a straight through design. You've got all this area on the inside that merges down to the 67mm outlet. See if I can get my camera to focus in there for you guys. I want to get some good measurements. So these guys on the OEM ones are 54mm on the outlet. And coming over to the Tomeis, we are 65mm on the outlet, where the HKS ones are 70, so they are a little bit bigger. So yeah, these are definitely going to flow way more. It's going to give you way less back pressure. It's going to allow your turbos to make way more horsepower, and the biggest difference is in the collector, how this thing really just smashes everything down. It's not really going to flow very effectively, where this comes in, merges smooth, and then speeds up and comes out. So this is going to be good if you guys are looking for a good set. Since the HKS ones are discontinued, in my opinion, I think the Tomeis are the nicest because they are a one-piece solid cast. So they're going to be reliable just like factory, but flow better and give you more horsepower. I want to assemble this whole assembly so you can see what it's going to look like. I wanted to make this video for the GTR community, so if you guys are curious about the Tomei cast turbo outlets, today's video is going to show you everything you need to know about them if you're considering buying a set. These turbo elbows are made out of a one-piece solid cast stainless steel. It's a SUS 316, so it's super durable and it's going to handle a lot of abuse. And then if you look at the coating on these, the ceramic coating matches on the cast elbow perfectly to the Tomei cast manifold. And when you compare the turbo elbow next to the Tomei cast manifold in the engine bay, they look flawless. Very nice finish. They have a brand new set of Nissan N1 manifolds, and you can just see the collector where everything comes out into the turbo. It's just basically milled out to be a little bit bigger versus the more restrictive standard Nissan one. So you could either bore out your standard manifold or just buy these. I wanted a brand new set because they're not rusty, they look good, and I want everything to just look nice and brand new. But looking at this stuff, you can see how the Tomeis fit. They fit perfect, and it's gonna be super easy to work. You can get Tomei cast manifolds if you want. They do make them. They're around $1,100 or so, depending on when you get them. I just don't like how they fit. They're a pain in the butt. I'll put a link in the description as well as a tab up above for what is required to install the Tomei turbos, but it basically involves you clocking the compressor housing on the front part of the turbo, because you cannot reach these bolts down here without rotating this out of the way. Down versus this one, you can see I kind of ground out about half of the material there. You've got enough room to kind of flip it and rotate it. And then with that compressor housing being flipped, you have easy access to this front one as well. So I'm going to tighten all these, and it just makes it a pain in the butt versus the factory one is so much easier to work with. But looking at how this is going to install, there's plenty of space. I like how they left a bunch of markings, or basically they left space for all your hardware to be mounted and to get a wrench as well as a socket in there. Let's test it. So this is a 13mm socket. Fits right over there, no problem. So now the 13mm wrench will not fit on unless you use the flat side. Let's test the flare nut wrench. Those will not fit as well. And that would be the only advantage of OEM. It's just so easy to work with because it's so narrow and so restricted, but you could get access to all the stuff just a little bit easier. If you guys didn't get a chance to check out the HKS 2530 Turbo unboxing video, I'll put some overlay video of that as well as a tag up above and a link in the description down below for you guys to check it out. You guys can see fitment's really easy, and then the turbo brackets, you've got the mounting point for the factory turbo bracket to go underneath to the side of the block. So everything's going to work just like OEM. That's going to wrap up today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed a quick unboxing of the Tomei cast turbo outlets for the RB26 for the R32, R33, R34 Nissan Skyline. So I hope this gave you kind of all the specs, all the dimensions, and kind of just an overall good idea if this is something that you want to purchase. I will put a link in the description down below of where I picked these up from Blackhawk, Japan. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. I'll be back with a bunch more GTR content. Like I said, I've got a ton more unboxing videos that I've got to do, and I've got a big GTR update, and everything moving forward is going to be GTR content for probably the next at least couple months. My RB26 is currently at the machine shop. I've got some other parts I got to finish dropping off to them so they can do the machining, and we can get the entire build process underway. My goal for at least this summer is to have the bottom end fully assembled and back together in the garage to where I can swap out the drain plugs for the coolant system and get the block painted and stuff like that. I still need to get the head sent out to some type of head shop and do the head and all that too. I'm gonna figure that out. That's gonna all take money, and I probably won't do that until winter time because I want to enjoy the summer with my family and not spend all my money on my GTR. I'm sure you guys with families can understand that. This is gonna be a slow build process over time for me. I was contemplating selling my car because I was so frustrated. I spent like 20 grand. I put 20 grand into it the year that I had the turbo fail, with the whole thought of having to rebuild the engine and separating ties with my GTR tuning shop that I was doing business with. I was kind of just feeling really overwhelmed and frustrated to the point I didn't even want to touch the car. I was sick of how much money it cost and just the overall frustration trying to figure out which machine shop I'm going to use, which tuner I'm going to use, which engine builder I'm going to use. And it was just to the point where I didn't want to spend any more time away from my family out in the garage working on this thing, as well as the money that I'm spending on this. These are, you know, this is money I could spend taking my family to Disney World or taking my family to Hawaii, making memories with my family. So it was a really hard decision. I thought about it for about 6 months and thought I was going to sell it. Even put on Instagram that I was going to sell it. But after I kind of sat and thought about it for a while, my wife and I talked about it. She knows it's my dream. I didn't want to give up on my GTR because the GTR was my dream car for years, since I was like 18 years old and I saw these cars at Garage SPL in Seattle. They had a Motor X R32, R33, R34. I wanted to get myself a Nissan Skyline ever since. There's something so satisfying about getting into the GTR that no other car gives me that same feeling. So I don't know where you guys are at in life, but I don't want to give up on my dream. And so you guys be patient that have been following the channel with me for years. I've had this car for 6 years. There's no rush. There's no need to stress myself out financially in trying to get the thing built as fast as I can. So it's going to be a slow process. I'm going to document everything in really good quality, very high quality detail. I've got partnerships from Australia on the channel. They're going to be helping me finish the build. So lots more to come, guys. Stay tuned. If you like this type of content, consider subscribing. We're almost at 10K subs. We're like 65 people away. Hit the thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And until then, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.